Singapore's central bank has laid out the next steps in its efforts to help Asia transition away from coal plants. It released its latest interim report on transition credits to help such plants shift towards more climate-friendly sources of energy. And that is with the help of a new financial instrument called the Transition Credits Coalition, or Traction. First, let's have a look at how such credits work. Asia is home to many new coal plants, on average younger than 15 years. Getting them to close earlier than planned and break contracts will require a lot of money from investors. To further fund the switch to greener energy sources, coal plant owners will also be able to sell what's called transition credits. Governments and companies can buy these to mitigate their own emissions. Claudia Lim has more from the Singapore Pavilion at the 29th UN Climate Change Conference in Azerbaijan.
The Monetary Authority of Singapore has piloted 2 projects decommissioning coal plants in the Philippines. Its latest interim report identified risk and suggests practical solutions based on these studies.
Part of Traction's work is understanding buyers' considerations. What do they look for in carbon credits? What attributes do they want transition credits to have? The final area is taking demand and supply and making sure you can scale this, because we need to build a scalable market.
The central bank is now working toward a comprehensive playbook that can be used across Asia by next year's UN Climate Change Conference.
First is this kind of guidelines will help us ensure the supply is credible, integrity is good, and we can trust the system. Right? Second is demand. As a first step, Singapore is saying that we will allow defraying of carbon tax using some of those credits. In that regard, I must say at COP29, if we can reach agreement on the Article 6 aspects that we're talking about, or bilateral agreements, it will be very, very important to drive the market for demand for these credits. And third is documentation and technology to ensure that every credit that's generated is documented and extinguished as per the process.
Singapore also says it has aligned itself with the European Union and China on definitions of green or transition activities based on science. This world-first taxonomy will make it clearer for investors to know what activities they can put their money in for greener outcomes. Claudia Lim, CNA, Baku, Azerbaijan.